Okay, I have an announcement first. I've just started a mailing list related to the chat of AI, Chat GBT, and I just asked it to write an essay on will Donald Trump be indicted. I haven't even looked at it yet. I just did it as I started. But if anyone's interested, send me a note. Rorschach's already a member of the list, and because of his in whatever the committee did yesterday, I'm going to read a poem that I previously written that I haven't read here. It's aimed at the group that supports him. The United States we call MAGA, meaning Make America Great Again, which has on the hat. MAGA, he played you. You didn't grow up in New York City, so you probably didn't know that he paid illegal immigrants under the minimum wage if he paid them at all. Stiff contractors and attorneys, was sued for discrimination in his building, wanted black teenagers held in prison after they were proven innocent, was a multi-time bankrupt businessman, not a successful one, escaped military service because of bone spurs that mocked those who went as losers, proclaimed on the Howard Stern radio show that his biggest challenge during the Vietnam War was escaping STD. I could go on, but you get the picture. We or most of us knew that he was a blowhard and a fraud. When he started his presidential campaign, it was almost derailed by his "grab him by the pussy" comment. What was just important and missing a comment was him saying, when you're a celebrity, you can. In other words, there was always separate rules for him. I could shoot someone in broad daylight on Fifth Avenue and go free. In his campaign, he told us he was going to have Mexico pay for the wall. It is not thing to ask. Why would Mexico pay for a wall to keep those people that he had called murderers, criminals, and rapists in his country when it could let them go? And then we had his presidency. I will fix the infrastructure. Biden's doing it. Putin told me he didn't do it. U.S. intelligence said that he did. Good people on both sides, Nazi flag on one side, and more crazy comments and lies. And then we have, after his presidency, the election was stolen. Testimony that he knew he lost. I didn't know who Fuentes was. Well, he knew who Ye was. And terminate rules in the Constitution to reinstate me. And all this 2022 hand-picked candidates, a motley crew lost. And yet you march on, said, I'll change topics. What I learned in places, Inwood, Manhattan, NYC, Irish Catholic Jewish neighborhood, drink more beer faster than most living beings, bury a jump shot, and build long-term, lifelong friendships. New Rochelle, New York, own a college, develop an appreciation of the liberal arts, and more of the above. Brooklyn, New York, U.S. Federal Service, dive into computer technology, start a 50-year career. The Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Sill Army Base, learn to work with people from very diverse backgrounds and interests, come face to face with racial bigotry. Riverdale, Bronx, New York, start a family, be responsible for others. Wall Street, New York, become a manager of people, become an entrepreneur, find the woman. Westchester County, New York, co-run a business, raise pets, become a published writer, become a college professor, become a poet, love the woman more, find joy and contentment. And a bit of an older one that I'll wrap up with. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. We hear such comments from the NRA. I prefer the comment from the late, great Pete Hamill. How many home runs would Babe Ruth have hit without a bat? This week, I'm surrounded by death. That was 2 years ago. I went to a memorial for a 79-year-old woman, Ellen Hancock. She was the highest woman at IBM, then the highest woman at Apple, then the CEO in one of the early data repositories. And along the way, gave and raised millions of dollars for high school and colleges in New York and California. There were buildings named for her at the Ursuline Academy, Nourishville, New York, Marist College, Poughkeepsie, New York. On Saturday, I will go with a funeral of a friend who lived into his 90s, Benito Ortolini, who spoke at least 3 languages, taught on at least 3 continents, and impacted thousands of college students. These 2 people lived full lives and contributed much. The dead children from Uvalde, Texas will never have such a chance. Thank you for putting up with me.